Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Alaska, the kind of menchia na menchia what here for. I'm say minim say young nya MTN for network challenges na. I think set up data boss here den no. Among who said there is the need for them send network no be any.
Very well.
Because you can't spend a fortune to buy data. Not end of the day, no, but now we are needing some who the over. And you were a very voice-furious communication minister on them chroma arrogance, no, or tongue.
Arrogance.
Yes, I saw sitting ass down, no, who said you might no more Shannon Sano. A idea, about coin, but here we are here do no, you can't do anything without internet.
Very well.
And you know, those network service providers no making sure that they will do the right thing. Sabaya utia sikasa wo dia toy bi aba say when you value for money. And Alaska, I think say Ghana they will be say there na kwa the team we are only hoping for the better. And I think say baby advocacy in discussion no course various social media platforms Ghana for do ho gym the near course na because Alaska you've got into a time in our national life say advocacy ne this kind of your friends say among for the mohoje conversation amasoa we are witnessing a certain regime are you ready to ignore anything beyond that is of value to as a people now or but people are doing their best to ensure that we checkmate the government in its efforts to trample upon everything in this country. So I think that now they bet me yeah.
Wow, the image we are here and that was Avance innocent. I better show a discussion so Hali Bisabo innocent as a bra na Obabuao, a bono, a sound doom any a hunsu hunwa or your pabine or see sir Akiala soap no a bois Saumu Ususu die Basa Baso Besu na Udidi Obi Besu die na said the Obi and no a yankita home our die and yet I papa so what this over now soap in the your phone got it a time this way would be now would the account so now they are set up now and wow would toy and talk any the can promise and fail any bad luck you know and pamuno if you a 0243 409 862 0243 409 862 0540 670 646 0540 670 646 and 0201 223 717 0201 223 717. I need to serve or see the witch hunter. I want young call electoral commission and matters arising.
Yeah, Alaska, they come and share with me for. I say for quite some time now near conversation in electoral commission EC boss, electoral commission EC boss. And to say Obucrat in China say or take the consistency with which delve into issues involving EC na. And quite conversation no faso corner. The literal way understanding a binba pick and say obia was certain will be personal vendetta be against the woman say Mensa and in crew for no Alaska and some year can no crap todo and a yeka and some yeka ye backing with solid evidence so incontrovertible and unblemished yes support through with this evidence to justify say indeed kwanya ma menafaso all ye nijumadi and reflect it obia ese only such a sensitive institution like the Electoral Commission Alaska say yeah electoral process in the democracy nyina betimi deep adi ye na adi agiesi ho a elections are one of the key things. And my culture say electoral misunderstanding, electoral violence, turning Africa into a lot of places into a killing field. Oko Sudan and as for examples are obetimi citing as for her. So the last thing anybody will do is obetimi I use the Electoral Commission. We weaponize it, the Electoral Commission, and now we use to endanger the prospect of future elections. So as Nipa Edwa to her as an Nipa will lead the commission, no Alaska Oba Uduma we nyina as a reflected at the pitch or be a oil referee juma. You stand in the middle and working with stakeholders. Critical stakeholders are also input on the involvement in the electoral process, undeniably no wonim say what they told in China. So these are stakeholders are we revenue you work with them in ensuring say the process, the electioneering process is not go smooth. Because Alaska elections are it is not about the EC coming out with a credible electoral process or electoral system, but it is about the people accepting whatever the electoral commission put out.
Wow.
So you can decide, so the process I'm rolling out is the best, is of a particular kind. But if people have doubt and they cannot lend credence to the credibility of that particular electoral process now, you cause zero. That is why we are saying, say, the electoral commission in delivering on its mandate, must do so in tandem with ensuring, say, public, trust and confidence will be sustained. Sabaya electoral outcome no among for Bediatum. Balaska, Mammy we shall say so didn't you, my dear. I say electoral yet the cofa, yet no better electoral commission any. Wazumu a certain warlike, aggressive penchant tibia. As if says she's at war with some individuals. And why like as I'm not cast away no baya. Nothing will change your mind. Because and I'm going to walk you through a streak and as an event I see Okroma, I bet me lend the credence to this particular claim maker say. Mamma doesn't see electoral commission as a sensitive state institution or you're charged with the mandate to say my elections and you're free and fair. Now on deliver Ghanaians. Or free says Benin and Nabina Una, ya pass the electoral commission to her and she feels emboldened to do whatever that she want to do. Because Alaska, if you're really in a position to work working for people, at some point in time, the concerns and the welfare of the people at any point in time, will be factored into whatever decision we will be making. Alaska, and yes, I know baby. But for quite some time now, she has demonstrated largely said this is a woman with a fragile ego. People with weak ego, always and always be, and when they take position, they become so much entrenched because on himself or give you up on that particular decision what taking now or before people will see her as a weak person.
Okay.
So they assume that kind of aggressive and warlike penchanta. As no, she's not ready to listen to anybody. I start here, Abraham, you go into your first 2020 elections. I start here with your son's Ghana card. And your Ghana card, you the new register, beba. Alaska, mammy will buy or shall say call IPAC, Enna, or shall say this soldier for dinner. Electoral commissioner, or call IPAC. IPAC near deliberative platform for political stakeholders to meet. Na yen church ya dwen, na yen pomasibra sebi, niema o nkaide ntokwa beba no, ye betimi atena se as a team. Na yen fan 2 years, na yen ti ye ho ase sabe electoral process na be koye. Alaska, it got to a time maami we call IPAC na or kwa soldier for dinachi as if say ye first George Bush visit Iraq. Yes. Soldier for the creating a very hostile environment. Sabi, we are stakeholder now to a minimum drink. And then they succeeded in enlisting toy parties and jokers into the IPAC. At decision bar, all that they do is say, yeah, they agree with the electoral commission. And where these political parties emerge from, some don't even have offices in Accra, but they appear at IPAC. Always in agreement with the electoral commission. So these toy parties, I know they were toying the line of electoral commission because political party here as for is business in this particular country. So a boy am IPAC and this wadi huna ye the buy need the purpose and as for Afari-Gyan on time so I set a platform as yetimi edi ya hon komo obiaba. Na say all rubbish the essence of IPAC na omfa IPAC ni nya hwe na ye koduro na wo kanyansa sem na say obia emfa nya adwena and I mention say situation in society because political parties are more still easy nay all of them have been attending IPAC meetings so bisa ho say eba say that these political parties will leave the IPAC room and then proceed to go to court when this whole discussion could have been done with these stakeholders na yati ya ho ase ko electoral commission and working anya adwuma man ho or ya adwuma for the people of Ghana. It is working for the stakeholders. So we the near me basabe ya san hye no ene stakeholders no sabi but this woman attitude from teteno sa na tie nei she never changed and na ya buy any be wura so the new register eba. New register, you heard the disenchantment, the very concerns, because not even ECOWAS charter credit out say when we are going to major election with less than 6 months
to make any major reforms.
Major alteration in the electoral documents in as for no create out. After all, system now would ban credibility in as for ever quite questionable. This woman against all the odds, but Chrome have a cancer whom and say, Sabi, electoral commission biometric register na your biometric data na equipment na you go in Alaska. Say a casa ye repair. Ebe cost you $76 million. Na mum ye kwa ye mono dia. Ebe cost you 56. Ye ni ba e ho so ewo Chrome and Alaska. Na ye the 390 million Ghana cedis. And ye new register ewo Chrome saying. And imani the another analysis ba say we should not only consider the amount of money a new register. Now, the old one, now just saying no, and also came at a cost. So, throwing that particular thing away, no, or minor siaboka on that particular score. This woman never listened to anybody. Then they went to court, say, among the Ghana card, not any available to be a passport. I said, among for Nibi because Ghanaians see those things as a traveling document. So, Ghana need a two kind. Ghana for a two kind of passport to a chila. And as a guarantor system, no, ye nim the kind of hulubalua ekreti okruma, but in the end, no, ye na court money the dance as a sabi, ukra, birth certificate, and guarantees away a Ghana ni. I just say, Ghana card, no, kwa birth certificate. And I said, would your passport, road the birth certificate, and the cocoje, yet now chroma, am such ruling, ever seen to form, am electoral commission, ye the obey Alaska. Along the line, this same Mensa inserted into our electoral process another saying a procedure be as a friend regional level coalition.
Exactly.
And on that day, all the major challenges through out elections in the buy. It wasn't part of the process. Political parties has sorry said no mama, this thing is new. Because it has never been part of our process. And as how charged atmosphere and see abra ye coalition na se for no man ye kasa ye de sa niema no ba ebetimi de ntokwasem ne na se for weba e ma Afari-Gyan kra sorry can say setting up plenty coalition centers could be a recipe for disaster. This woman against all the advice from these experienced people Antiochia went ahead and set up the regional coalition in the 2020 election. Didn't you see regional coalition, many of them talk asem ne mente ho ase e na ya kalia boma na nyeye e na obi di abeka ho e na ya wiem no ni nyina e ho na free baaye. And it was the making and the creation of same Mensa. People speak wisdom to her. She never listened to anybody. Alaska, after see the year 2020 elections in we no every year piano the electoral commission is charged with the mandate say you roll out a friend saying limited registration exercise Emma Obia official nipa di 18 year because unim the fact that young to abano doesn't mean say obi hia voter register. For Alaska, so MP wu our constituency which can happen at any point in time. Now so person will contest for MP and answer you should be a registered voter. So obi edi enya kwan and register every year be that your first room must be created. Say in an event the constituency such opportunity and now about will be impromptu no about 1 year even though 4 years but anything at all can happen. People die. Meboa yet my MPs in Muya way. So a man for Monya can register in the previous way. What if those people want to maybe go to parliament and say for that year no one roll out registration they would deny that person because on your voter register on to me and contest for election. So in the wisdom of our your friends say elections in such a way say some periodically for such registration and you more pap am for Mami we buy after 2020 actually the Alaska till date how many years in here 3 good years in here limited registration baby chroma say and then yaba bedru a pointer say baby bedru there the limited registration exercise ba nti we have 2020 free 2021 2022 2023 you can imagine the number of people sabi omabeka we no ho and when him say chroma political party be aba winning elections so we margin na dem na akosura 1 million cry the last time it was 900,000.
That's right.
So it is estimated said registration SIC over 2 million people are supposed to register. that 2 million people, no, is significant enough to determine who becomes president.
Exactly.
Because of the interval over the years in their record. So Alaska, it means that it is a very significant exercise. So in doing so, no, Alaska, you do it in such a way so there will be convenience. Nipa betimenya kwan na aye amana ho atono. Enti so we electoral commissioner, young court to asem. I don't want to go into the court.
No, all right.
So young court, I pack in essence, they say yen deliberate yanti and until say maybe what the political parties are asking are quite stupid, and answer is unreal. You can't realize it. It's not feasible. In that context, there, the electoral commission can say, okay, there will be say, but this is the way over the years people are used to it, and it makes sense economically. Because my culture, so if you go to some of the districts, like your friend saying north, you will need to travel several kilometers before you get to regional offices. And these people, no, it's easy na come musika and answer when they come musika to travel because obi hard they already crowd. And this I didn't register in the area, they can easily walk there. But if they are supposed to travel, and Alaska, somebody did a small survey or can say what travel across all the district registration centers, and over machine is 2 penny go on their registration. So just imagine, say what your friends are north, baby. Now what me bobo sika na what travel all the way to your district capital. Over machine you do penny yasati table, you Alaska. You are racing against time because Najo is also Krum. There are queues. So what is the guarantee that person on that same day will be able to register and go back? So independent even register now or come back. Who is going to bring the person back? So these are reasonable and sensible questions that we've been asking her. And the electoral commission, you know, man by individual perceived to be intelligent in which me I doubt. No, I won't agree na you make sure say you create a very fertile avenue. These people will have access by Alaska. That particular thing has been jettisoned. And again, people queuing up at the district and your friends at district capital offices to go and register. No, me Alaska na say me kodru your friends saying center hona me kasa me free. Mente lashibira me sibite lashibia. Why na kodi me ho dance say mente lashibi? Asam no. Why na kodi dance here? Because at the community level, no, and I say at the electoral area level, no,
people are familiar with.
Yenya enim ya ho. Enti na obehe yesi nipa wo ontia obi anim no. So at that level, no, when they go catch you, obi say we free hand register ni din. Alaska again, nipa no register na ko ni din. So the electoral commission at the end they can decide to throw the person anywhere. A Binum district, a Binum from one constituency will end up in another constituency. So if I'm a political party and I want to take advantage of the system, what I will do is say I'll go to a constituency where I think say hold there my MPP. Your parliamentarian need to me win extra 10,000 votes. So all you have to do is to ship these people to another constituency so that they will be able to help. Baby, I will find it very difficult to win, no? And then you bridge the gap. That is the whole brain behind what they are doing. That is the whole secret behind it. Because Hano, it may win them 10,000 extra votes go actually. Because at the district level, no, the room to decide where the person is coming from, nobody is challenging your identity because you have a shared district capital. And
the electoral commission discretion, so back to us, Hannah,
middle, exactly. And even say electoral commission ain't need that discretion. And Nippon over catcher that with you. Because I know the day and your local area, and I will catch them say. Yeah, somebody will challenge at that level. No, who is going to challenge? Or are they telling us, all the electoral areas, you know, they are going to bring people across every town? Now you're probably doing the So these are the new sentiment among for expressing as a commission. You know, never when you create doubt. Your job is to ensure so you distill this doubt on the minds of people. Sabaya, there will be clarity on the minds of people. Sabaya going into the elections, you know, among for a dream better. But the commission has decided, say. See no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil attitude. And I order to her, and I order the oil, and I cover the abai, the abai to Alaska. That this track recorder, Abrana and Rana makers, Abra, NDC, a presidential aspirant elections and a flag bearership elections. Abra do for Fale, your friends saying, I say injunction our quarter. Young grantee Yakrano immediately the electoral commission issued a statement telling Ghana for the whole before the letter about the idea NDC elections be as if said they were waiting for the letter. Emma Ghana for baby or more times said nobody has served you, even a 7 o'clock the preliminary stage. And what is your interest? At the end of the day, Papa no can withdraw case in answer. So today, Electoral Commission, there is a factor injunction has been filed. They have rather disregarded these things. But Alaska, one can sit somewhere and say they are being aided by the court. And that is very dangerous. You see, we are coming from a background of where public confidence in the judiciary, the establishment, the credibility of the judiciary, has been in the tatters, has been in the gutters. People cannot lend any credence to the integrity of the judiciary. I Ghana for bomb say you bet me a disappointing seminar, a jare, judiciary, I'm gonna look better. So, such a judiciary in Alaska, whenever you are treading, you need to tread cautiously and wisely. You don't do things that will seek to confirm those doubts, those lingering concerns on the minds of Ghanaians because they are track record. And to me, political parties are dissatisfied with the operations of the EC. Nasa meseme de asem no kokota, barring how irrelevant you feel the case is. Alaska, my dear Americans, me co place injunction on the ongoing process.
Exactly.
Nasa me kona oka chere me say Chief Justice to kwan to date ya the bottom e de to kwan sabi. Adwe de dwen e wo hefa. We are in a democracy. Say Chief Justice to kwan or the court to date to kwan. Is that democracy? But when they went there to file, no you say catch you say Chief Justice to kwan. And she has given an express instruction, say, Obia mo Obia date. Now, Alaska, process now a beginning on the 22nd of this month. Now, and the 2nd of next month, That's an here.
A beginning, that was
22nd of Dabang.
No,
last week.
On the 12th.
Okay, on the 12th now and
on the 2nd
of next month.
That's right.
Look at the time frame. Now, some media, some air back court. Some injunct the process. Not a court, no, there some no see a bra process na and there. What is the sense in this particular thing?
We are 2 weeks after.
And send a court na kwatenase, and the whatever be the ruling, that ruling becomes quite irrelevant. It becomes silly because you can't use it to do anything. That in a democracy, in a civilized, in an advanced democracy, a democratic dispensation like ours, where we are being respected across Africa, no, such things in Alaska. It could be a recipe for disaster. And we need to ensure, say, the trust and confidence the public repose in our judiciary, at least will be high. But Sanya Mahunu already come to confirm the already lingering concern of doubt on the minds of Ghanaians. The judiciary, is being shepherded or is being manipulated by the executive. And Obikasa, you can't begrudge the person. Because I will come back to Papaya, your friends, unanimous president, former Chief Justice, Obegun unanimous throughout an entire period as a Chief Justice. And I think they're meaning the kind of legacy Ojaya said be proud of, because ruling in as for the by at some point in time under him, the judiciary, by a subject of public and social media mockery. People were ridiculing. We became a subject of your friends say public mortification on social media. Now I'm for atu mudin unanimous 11, unanimous 5, as if say a kobo match. Such an imbuasi. So Alaska, such a judiciary, a new person coming in, the expectation maybe of videos catch us say the new Chief Justice now Obano or Asundie, because we are now call a good judiciary unanimous. What their performance say no judiciary nyam. So Obano that Asundie is on her to ensure say obe repair the broken trust, the integrity. Alaska now obi a repair now to kwan na sa wo de date show bottom the court now ma express instructions say emma omo date na sa wo kwa Alaska enti say Chief Justice to kwan na sa wa yare na or the hospital bed so na okokoma na ni so nte ya obi anya court date. Is that what you are saying? Alaska, some of these things are so within any perimeters of reason and common sense, you can't situate it anywhere. So if we have a whole judicial system, a defiant common sense, a defiant logic, a defiant wisdom, now the poverty of logic and intellect in there, in some more day to abontain as for babontina, what is such a mind, Alaska? Wakuma end to two. And over the years, Yahudi are also in the sub-region. Some of the countries are cool because either judicial manipulation or your friends say electoral manipulation. And then the conference because we've had instances in the case of your friends say Afari-Gyan, Nikrom manipulating elections at the extra way back home, extra term. Our Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, or Yama, to a Naya Obaya, Sebi, Oba amended the constitution, or no one Casa di Bican, Alaska, or that's to so a nay. Nina, as a result of that, people are able to manipulate the judicial system to get their way. So, if that is the scenario, a play out here, the judiciary cannot be trusted, the Electoral Commission cannot be trusted, and these are key and the most institutions that among for and the last remedy. That's these two institutions backsliding to this extent, where people who are leading it display nothing but children's ego, a very fragile and a very weak ego, or think it's just or people say Mensa and Sana. Yeah, that is the attitude Mensa adopted, and where she has to slide down and have some consensus with the stakeholders. That will not come because Oba, it will be interpreted as she's weak, so or she's on the high horse, throwing out instructions everywhere. You call IPACA, the American EBT, but Alaska Electoral Commission, and Yen and Niger Padia, and Yen Papa Japadia, and Yen Mammy the Wu no Dijano, and Ghana for institution. And I could father the Diano, and she will not be there forever. Alaska, we need to. And then going forward, such sensitive institutions, we don't need people with such fragile ego, people who are emotionally charged. So irritating any control. People who are emotionally not mature, we don't need them. Because Charlotte Serpens, Sanyama will be at the dinner when she started picking fight with the deputies. Among for Kenyans, Assembly now, she was not ready to batch her this thing with them. The same trait now, and I'm with you. Sebi, how to describe her, Alaska. We cannot sit here and toy with our state institutions. We cannot sit here and use the EC, weaponize the EC to endanger the prospect of future elections. We can't do that because my culture said, no, my culture will be there. So I had the kind of experiences Ghana for I'll go through and Akufo-Addo. The corruption, the mismanagement, the fact that among for Musika Egu Bank Akam, the fact that corruption about the order of the day. Niamabonia Ekoso, the crackdown on state institutions, the crackdown on your friend dissenting views, dissent, Alaska. Ghana forward die resisting any attempt by anybody to ensure say they will be disenfranchised. Their friends right to elect whoever lead them will be subverted. That is never going to happen. So that particular message, I think it should be quite resounding in the ears of people. Say Ghana will do anything within their means to resist any attempt by anybody. It doesn't matter being the military, it doesn't matter whoever, to resist any attempt by anybody to muzzle their way to ensure that this election is stolen. So it is better the platform just setting straight for Obia Yama level ground. Ma Obia say toy party or say why I'll bet me I near my yard in the policies in the Ghana for be finding no quite worthy. Say it to me, man. That must prevail. But any attempt by the state, say you see the muzzles of the state, now you crack it down on people using state institutions, hiding behind the Electoral Commission, the court. Then I say for because I don't know which political party or any of the stakeholders, maybe apart from Abaya or so. And the only Isinya, and as only case, election no problem, Bama. Or the court.
And the question I was about to ask you, Mr. So who was a major stakeholder like the NDC, 6 million plus? I can't say 2024 mean quarter.
Alaska, me say Sia Yati has a CIA. Say Ghana and Tokwabesi, and I say in Tokwabesi as a result of elections. It is either the NDC or the MPP.
Very well.
Those toy parties, say they don't have followers. I can't see it. So as a referee, always and always, your relationship must always be such that there will be trust and confidence. Because about so always and always, as a sensible and as a reasonable person leading such a sensitive institution, you must always work along with these people by building a very strong relationship. They may be dissatisfied, but that relationship must be there for the sake of peace.
Right.
Because say Alaska, the peace, tranquility, enjoy, calling ourselves a beacon of hope. Ghana is peaceful, is tranquil, and those stuff. No, Alaska, Emre Bibedura. My culture say, oko Sudana marante no mo hye nwura mo from ho rebels no once some were doctors once some were nurses some were professors some were your friends engineers and as for but situation abaye so repressive enough say they couldn't cope almost some arms at nwuram to who not nwuram area hane a no kratu a men ka say onim nyansa system no go against them. That is why I to free fee akwatene nwuram but obafia ebia nko biti university there. Some are professors, some are doctors, some are engineers, some are this but situation not making it possible for them and omo new name at omo say omo ye rebels omo ti nwuram omo kura tuo everything is possible and niema we nyina ba abra the very democratic institutions na nyina ya set up asi ho say eno na ye de boy ho bra the institution must be fair, must be resolute and must be impartial no. If to a point, not somebody by the advantage of the factor or incumbent advantage, will manipulate and subject this institution to your friends saying those unruly manipulations, the yadi or Alaska. And maybe bedra those who call themselves minority and other people realize that no, enough is enough. Right. And Yahoo that enough, no several in Africa, Yahoo say, Sabi, a man for say a shake up. Because you to know my say those were the days, now people were misinformed. You had those few traditional media misinforming, selling their ignorance to people, thinking say that is the way the thing is. But then people can sit, go to the social media, research, do their own research. That are emerging information. Any young guy who is quite appreciative of politics today can just go on social media, can just Google whatever information and they also have room to do comparative analysis. That is why some of the youth are on social media comparing things here to America and other places. Not because they are justifiable, but because that comparative platform has been created for such analysis. We really need to be very, very careful and tread cautiously and tread wisely.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.